Hello everybody, welcome to my Seneca Lake plein air painting. It's a beautiful afternoon, mid-September here near Hector, New York. And I started this one about 6 weeks ago in early August. I think it's September 15th now. And a lot of things have changed, but I came back to look at it again. And I've had some subsequent settings in my studio where I've been working on it. But I wanted to come back here. It was a day very similar to what it is today. A lot of things have changed. Of course, the sky always changes, and the landscape has changed. There's been a lot more golden color, the goldenrod. If you want to come into the painting here, and I'll explain. I was just doing some finishing touches of adding some of the corona light along the various clouds and the way it's catching up in here. The clouds are oftentimes observed, and so they're always in flux, even when you're doing plein air painting. So it's a kind of a combination of invention, observation, and kind of a hybrid of those things. I'm considering this painting as the cover piece for my reissued book, Dramatic Color in the Landscape, and I think it illustrates the idea, because I've done some use of color here that's arbitrary color. We all know that trees are green, but I've taken some artistic liberty here and made them kind of a deep wine red color here. But what I'm thinking of is the color of the light, and to get that feeling of the diffuse light, pretty much like it is here today. So that's the reason I've sort of taken some liberties with the color. I did not take liberties with the drawing. I pretty much stuck to what I'm seeing here. Didn't move anything around, and it has a nice lead way into it, this road and the vineyards going down into space. And there was actually a sailboat here when I was painting, so I included the sailboat. And the distant shore over there, the distant mountain, is when the sun's like this, it kind of loses any kind of detail, so it's a nice unified shape and color there. So I've stuck with that, and once again, we can take liberties with the color, but there's that adage that I like to cite from Frank Webb, is that color gets the credit, but value does the work. So it's really the contrast and the figure-ground relationships that help it read and make it read and communicate. So this is the end of my session here. But I also wanted to mention that I did this on a tinted ground, and it was kind of a light magenta. And here are some samples of basic undertones that I use. This is about the color of the painting that I'm working on, which is made with acrylic paint, white and kind of a magenta color. So it's I would call it a hot color. Pink could go either way, but I usually think of pink as a in this instance as a hot color. But this is the tone that I usually use, just a neutral photo gray. And the reason I like that is it's neutral, so you don't have to compete with the color. It's a nice neutral tone. And this color here, kind of a terracotta, and it's made with burnt sienna and white acrylic. And come in closer, one thing else that I'll mention, this one is just a panel, a masonite panel with no canvas or linen on it, whereas the one that I was working on there, and this one has a fine Belgian linen that I've glued to it, and it makes for a nice surface. And I've been favoring these with linen that's glued to the masonite panel. Okay, so I think that's about what I wanted to cover here. So this is my plein air painting the wonderful light over Seneca Lake here near Hector, New York, and look for it on my website, briankeeler.com. And I also would mention that my paintings of Seneca and Keuka lakes are represented at the West End Gallery in Corning, New York. So if you're in the area, please stop. It's a wonderful gallery, and I've been showing there for over 30 years. Okay, cheers.